So raise your glass, even though he's not the best. But at least he made the top 5.
Hey, welcome to Lanai Gossip. But Lonnie's not here today, but we have Dennis stepping in his shoes, and we have Brad, who won a gold medal and a silver medal in the U.S. Open down in, where was that held at?
It was in Naples, Florida. U.S. Open is what it's called.
So anybody can get in it?
Yes. Yeah, it's for all ages.
Okay. So he's here to tell us about it, his experience, and give us some tips maybe on if you plan on going in it, what you need. And so how did you get involved in U.S. Open pickleball?
Well, just from playing in pickleball tournaments over the years, you know, in the villages and around the villages. And I knew that people had been going down there to the U.S. Open for years. And actually, for the U.S. Open for me was a bucket list thing. I'd never been before. And everybody said you should at least do it once. So that's what I did.
And you were partners. It was
Yes.
It was doubles. But you were probably the best player because they're
they're
not here, and you are. So
yeah,
we always
know,
pick the best.
But I want to go on record. They carried me.
What's your approach? Do you have a different approach when you're playing mixed doubles as opposed to men's doubles?
It's similar, but usually the man will take a little bit more of the court on that. And in men's doubles, we kind of share it equally. So, but it's not. The lady I had, she's very athletic, and so she can hold down her own. So it was all.
So just so our audience heard that, and maybe even some of our guests in the area. So when you play mixed doubles, the man generally takes a little bit more of the court?
Yes, that is true. In a lot of cases, a lot of men in that, they take a lot of the court. I try not to. And I try to trust my partner.
Okay. How long have you been playing?
But I've been playing almost 9 years full time now. In the U.S. Open, it's a little bit different. They have an age category, and you can play in that as an open. So any skill level can get in that on the age, and then they have an age plus skill. So we played in both of them. I played 70 to 74 in the age part, and then we played 70 to 74 in the skill part, which was 4.5 and 5.0s. There's not a lot of 5.0s, so they mix them in with us 4.5s on that. And to get in the U.S. Open, you do it by a lottery. They had over 5,000 people get in this lottery to get in. Nobody is automatically invited except the pros. Okay. And even if you win a gold medal down there, you're not automatically invited for the next year. So only 3,000 and some got in, but it's the largest pickleball tournament in the world.
So how did you handle that downtime?
Well, the downtime I handled with a ham sandwich and drinks and trying to stay cool in the shade. They had a lot of awnings down there. They have a lot of covered awnings that you can sit under, which is nice.
Any issues with sitting around and tightening up at all?
You know, a lot of people have that problem. I don't. It doesn't bother me. I can sit in between games and not get stiff.
I mean, I see 4.0s and stuff, and 3.0s, they don't really dink a whole lot. Is that because we don't move as quick?
It's you have to. I always say, people tell me, says they won't dink with me, or, they're just a banger. Well, you got to stop a banger first off by doing a good third shot drop. They can't bang that ball if you're doing a good third shot drop. If you're doing good dinking, and what I mean by that is just not dinking it over the net, you're moving them. You're moving them to their backhand side, or moving them to the middle, or moving them deeper where they can't really bang that ball. And then also, the next component to that is the block. You got to make them pay for that hard drive that they do, with blocking it back at their feet for a winner, or blocking it back into them.
And do you sometimes see that being one of the downsides of the more inexperienced players, where you've got a slammer, and so what's the response? Instead of just blocking it and putting it soft back to them, they're trying to slam at the same time?
Yes, yeah. And that's a losing battle usually, because you're playing into their game. And yeah, that does happen a lot, especially at the 4.0 level and 3.5 level. And usually they find out, some of the bangers find out they can get away with that for a while, but it doesn't seem like they're very successful with it in a tournament. We played one team in the U.S. Open that was tennis players, and they were really good with their line shots and their drives, and they did it constantly in that. And Rudy and I took their game away from them with the third shot drops and the dinking, and I could tell they were very frustrated by the end of it on how that game could possibly beat them when they were just driving everything. They thought that their way was the best way. And I think they were probably kind of new to tournament play.
Do you try as soon as possible? Do you try and identify the weaker of the two players?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of the bad thing about pickleball, but it's smart for tournament play. You identify the weaker player or their weakness of either player and try to abuse that as much as you possibly can. Okay. And there's always the standard pickleball shots to go to help you, like hitting a little deep to their backhand side where they have to look away from you and try to concentrate on the ball behind them a little bit. And you dink, like I said, with a purpose. You don't just dink to hit over the net. You're trying to move both teams. You're trying to either suck them both into the middle and leaves the outside open, or put them on the outside too that leaves the middle open.
And so how many hits do you think to get a point in that higher level? Is it a quick point or is it a long point?
Usually they're fairly long points,
Okay.
but some of them go really quick. But it's kind of typical to be more like a 7 or 8 or 9 shot rally, but some of them go 15 to 20.
So I've been taught that certainly dinking and moving your opponents is important, but for the more highly skilled players, they'll dink with you all day.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you, okay, this is my third or fourth dink shot, I'm moving them left and right. At what point are you trying to go up and over them?
Well, a lot of people, I'm not a real good lobber, but a lot of people are, and you just try to wait, and the thing is, if they get the ball even like 3 inches too high on a dink, where you can attack it. I like to feel like I attack every ball that is attackable, and every ball that's not, I try to just dink it. I try to keep it so it's unattackable by my opponents. That's the main thing that the 4-5s and the 5-0s do. They try to keep the other team from attacking. That's way more important than trying to attack, is stop the other team.
Do you find that to be one of the major differences between a 4-0 versus that 4-5 or 5-0?
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Yeah.
What did you find out about just going there? What's the logistics of getting to the U.S. Open? Your wife wasn't very supportive. She stayed up here. So you were eating ham sandwiches from Nate.
No cheering section.
Nobody cared. That's good. That was nice.
Probably spending money too while you were down there playing hard.
I played 13 games on Monday. Then we had 10 more. We lost a bronze medal game on Tuesday, so I had 23 games there. And then we had another 5, so I was at 28 games by Wednesday, and I was
Done.
tired on Thursday. But we had to get the place, and then of course you got your transportation down there, and then and it was $295 to get in for 4 events. You're just in a lottery. You may only get 1 event.
Okay.
I put in for 4. And I think I got in all 4 because of the age thing. And in the age, you can be any skill level, but what I noticed down there, it seemed like everybody was probably a 4-0 or above, or right on the cusp of being a 4-0.
Was that the hardest tournament you ever been in, or the hardest 3 days you ever played?
Oh yes, yeah, because of the number of games and the skill level.
So,
I guess.
actually,
Oh,
Commissioner, we
sorry.
do have a mailbag.
Okay.
Somebody and actually they're from the Villages.
Nice. Someone's reading our mail.
They didn't want to give their name. They're just their initials.
Okay.
SB. And SB's question was that over the winter, they played about a month at a court in the morning where, generally speaking, you have 4-0, 4-5 players. They almost never won a game the whole month that they played at this court.
Uh-huh.
What suggestion would you give them?
Go to a different court.
You should really, I'm going to just say I'm not going to tell them what they should do. I know what I always did. If I couldn't go to some courts and win on average half of my games, I felt like I was in the wrong place.
That's
But if
what
you've got a
happened.
decent partner, and you still can't win half your games or be competitive too. You need to be competitive, then you should go to different courts. It was kind of exciting about the U.S. Open. Rick Barry was there. The NBA
Yeah.
All-Star
Yeah.
was there. He loves pickleball, and he was in my group. And I was just dying to play with this guy. He was a rock star there. Everybody, when they played him, if they lost to him or if they won, they wanted their pictures with him. He was very cordial on that. He took his picture with everybody, even when he lost. And you know, he's 6'8". He towers over everybody, and it was fun to see him. But the guy, it was a shame he got beat before he got to us each time. And I was just really wanting to play Rick Barry.
So did he play mixed? Did he play men's doubles?
He
both?
played both men's and
Interesting.
mixed. Yes, yes.
Can you imagine the reach on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
How do
he's
you-
covering
how do you
three-quarters of
beat
the
him?
court, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Brad. And,
Thanks, Brad.
And I know you're headed off to Pittsburgh for, now what is that?
That is the Senior Nationals in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on July 10th and the 11th, I believe, and I'm playing with the same two partners.
Okay.
Of course, I wouldn't trade them in. They're
No,
carrying
no.
me to all this hardware stuff.
Well, I noticed when you said they go to the weaker player, you must have got a lot of shots that day.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we'll have you back when you win the gold over there in Pittsburgh. How's that?
it could be.
Well, thank you.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks to him, we've got the best league to play in. It's not a boast, just a toast to number 5.